Senator Bernie Sanders is going to weigh in on what Republicans are currently doing in regards to health care. Let's watch.
You mentioned some of the policy differences, but there is a procedural debate going on about how this is being handled in the Senate. Some Democrats are suggesting because you don't know what's in the bill and the bill is being worked on in secret, to just stop all Senate business, to just shut the place down as a way to kind of force play. Are you on board with that?
John, here is the situation. We know the legislation that passed the House. It was the worst piece of legislation, frankly, against working class people that I can remember in my political life in the Congress. Throwing 23 million people off of health insurance is beyond belief. Now, in the Senate, what you have is I believe it is 10 Republicans working behind closed doors to address 1/6 of the American economy. That's what health care is. Republicans, the average Republican doesn't even know what's in that legislation. My understanding is that it will be brought forth just immediately before we have to vote on it. This is completely unacceptable. I mean, nobody can defend a process which will impact tens of millions of Americans, and nobody even knows what's in the legislation. And, John, the important point here is the reason they don't want to bring it public is because it is a disastrous bill, I suspect, similar to what passed in the House. Who is going to defend cutting Medicaid by $800 billion at the same time as you give massive tax breaks to the wealthiest 2%? So they want to keep it secret. They don't want the media involved. They don't want members of Congress involved. And at the last minute, they present it, they push it through, and that is 1/6 of the American economy and millions of people thrown off of health insurance. That is unacceptable. I believe Democrats should do everything they can to oppose that legislation in any way that we can.
So let me explain to you guys a little more clearly what's going on. Trumpcare passed the House, and then now it's in the Senate, and what they're doing is crafting their version of the bill, changing provisions and whatnot, and they're doing it 100% in secret. Think about how crazy that is. They're crafting a healthcare bill. It's totally secret. Here's the crazier part. All you need is 3 Republicans to come out and say, we need to make it public, and they make it public. That's all you need is 3. They can't get 3. Oh my God. These guys are unbelievable. So why are they doing it like that? Well, they're doing it like this because they don't want you to see how the sausage is made. They don't want you to see the wheeling and dealing and literally smoke-filled backroom deals that are going on where you don't think these guys are talking to health insurance company representatives, to lobbyists, to big pharma. That's exactly who they're talking to. Sometimes those are the people who write the bills. So the House version of the bill, as Bernie rightly pointed out, cut $880 billion from Medicaid, increased the uninsured rate, went from 10% to 19%, a total of 53 million people uninsured. We already have millions uninsured now, but the total would be 53 million under that bill. The House bill had a 17% approval rating. It allows states to opt out of protections for pre-existing conditions. It's a giant tax cut to the rich. So it was a disaster. It got nothing but negative press. The CBO ripped it to shreds. Nonpartisan CBO, by the way. That's how shitty this bill was. Even the mealy-mouthed centrist nonpartisans were like, ugh. Now it's in the Senate. They're gonna water it down more. In other words, take the extreme teeth out of it, so it'll be a little less extreme, this bill, but it'll still be a shitty bill. But they're doing it all in secret. This party is nothing but disdain for the American people. The corporate Democrats are horrible, but the Republicans are just on another level. I mean, it's like, it's so obvious how loathsome and corrupt they are. Like, who does that? We're going to negotiate a bill totally in secret. What? A healthcare bill totally in secret? Is it what? People shouldn't know what kind of a system they're going to have for healthcare. And that's what they want to do. Release it at the end and then force a vote on it real quick. Because that way you don't get the CBO report crunching numbers and seeing how many people are going to lose insurance. You don't get to see any facts on it that expose how pathetic it is. You're allowed to pass or have a vote on try to rush through your bill, which is another giant giveaway to health insurance companies and big pharma, screws over the people, try to pass it, and then you go, what? Oh, the bad CBO score? Well, who knew, man? I mean, we had to vote on it quickly, so we don't even have time to read it, but whatever, just pass it. It's all good. It's all good. We had to do what we had to do, man. We had to get rid of Obamacare. So Bernie's 100% right. And the Democrats, by the way, are holding the floor. I believe they're holding it today. But something Bernie's on the side of, and very few people are on the side of, but they should fight for in the Senate. By the way, Bernie's Medicare for All Act, which he proposed in 2013, 0 co-sponsors. 0. What the Democrats should do is not only defend Obamacare, say Medicare for All is the answer and push for Medicare for All. But they're not going to do that. They'll just defend Obamacare and holding the floor, which is honestly low-hanging fruit. I mean, that's such a layup. Like, oh, let's not make our system worse. You're so brave. How about instead of saying let's not make our system worse, let's actively move in the right direction and make it much better. Catch up to the rest of the modern world. They're not going to do that. But it's good the Democrats are holding the floor, but they got to go all the way. Push Medicare for all. You have to have an answer to what they say. When they say, oh, we want Trumpcare. See, we have an idea. What's your idea? Just saying defend the status quo, which is Obamacare, is not enough. You have to say Medicare for all is pushing the right direction.